Good morning. Thank you for entering the Foul Playland. As always, I'm your Foul Player. I'm in front on making videos. I always say that before my videos because I actually do front on making videos. But I actually had some videos that I made and they had shit to do with boxing and more to do with fucking bullshit, quote unquote, like fucking internet fucking stupidity or drama. And against my better judgment and more importantly or more so, um, I was advised by my peers not to upload or engage in a lot of that stuff, and thankfully I didn't. I slept on it because at the end of the day, certain situations aren't worth your time, and certain people aren't really about it like that. So I'll just let sleeping dogs lie where they lie, and you know, let the pests do what they do. I'm not gonna engage it, and it is what it is. If I could be, I could be an asshole and and really put the truth of the matters out there and but I'll just let it rock. I think certain people want the attention of better men, and it is what it is though. But I got no beef with anybody on the internet because that in itself sounds fucking corny, and I'm not a corny motherfucker. Whatever. But I wanted to give a breakdown of my Tyson Fury Tom Schwarz fight and some of the stuff that I seen regarding like ESPN's promotion of the fight, and I'll get into it as I go along though. I just want to ramble for a little bit. But Tyson Fury, who I think is 27 with 27 wins and one draw. As you guys all know, Gypsy from England. He's gonna fight Tom Schwarz, who's from Deutschland, Germany, who I think is 22-0. I think he has like 16 knockouts. I'm not gonna front. I never watched the Tom Schwarz fight before this Fury matchup was announced, and I don't watch highlights of fighters. I try to watch as many fights as I could. I didn't want to watch none this morning because I got shit to do, but I watched like 3 or 4 fights against Tom Schwarz. His opposition that he was fighting in those fights, unfortunately, I didn't know who any of them were. In addition to that, all but like one of like the 4 fights I did watch of his are like they all look like smaller heavyweights. And he's a big ass dude. He's probably like 6'6" or no, he's probably like 6'5", 6'6". You know, pretty girthy heavyweight. His reach, even though he's pretty tall, is not that in comparison to Tyson Fury, it's not that great. I think Tyson Fury's reach is like 84, 82 inches, where Tom Schwarz, I believe, is like 77 inches. And Tom Schwarz fights like a person who doesn't have the greatest of reach. Even against like the lesser competition that I did see him contend against, he's more of a kind of a bull rushy fighter. He tries to set up his right hand. You could tell like his sole intention is to try to let that right off on you. And with the people that he's fought, sometimes those are the kind of guys that get hurt with like small glancing blows, and he's had the opportunity to almost like rush in to finish them off, or like rush in when they were sort of hurt, like to land a good, clean right hand blow. Do I think he's going to be able to do that with Tyson Fury? No. Do I think he could hurt Tyson Fury by getting hit by a right-handed blow? Yes. Tyson Fury, as we all know, was hurt by Wilder. You don't know how he's going to look after this fight. Fury has been looking a little bit nuts in interviews and like these press gaggles that he's had recently. But he always, like, you know, Fury always looks a little bit 730, like nuts. So who knows? But Fury's also been hurt by Steve Cunningham. And the right shot that Steve Cunningham gave Fury, I believe in 2014 when they fought in Madison Square Garden for Fury's American debut, is very similar to a kind of right hand that Tom Schwarz throws. Although Cunningham throws his right through that right kind of like from the bottom up because Cunningham was like a lot smaller than him. Cunningham's a smaller guy, but you get the idea. Like Schwartz throws a right hand from that same like looping like fucking trajectory, um, almost like an overhand right punch, if you will. Um, Fury gained a little bit of weight for this fight. It's probably so he could try to weigh Schwartz down. Sometimes Fury doesn't weigh you down by just clinching you. Fury like could weigh you down by leaning against the ropes, like he did with Steve Cunningham. Fury will get into a shell position, like against the ropes, and when you try to move in on him, then he'll clinch you. So at a time where you think that you could just let off on like Fury, and like sometimes you'll get happy as a fighter, like you'll think that you have an opening, and then all of a sudden Fury shells up, and you think that you're gonna be hitting somebody who's just a target, then he'll lean in on you. Fury will like lean back on the ropes from a shell position, and then fucking put his body weight on you then, and that shit is annoying. Like fucking Fury also keeps you away by just keeping his hands out at times. And since he's so heavy and big, it's hard to get around that. Like, and he's one of the best fighters I've seen doing that. To be, Fury has a lot of qualities that are the best of a heavyweight I've ever seen. In my short life, fucking that's not to say like that Fury is a master at a version, because if you get hurt by a Steve Cunningham and get dropped to the floor twice by Wilder, I mean like fucking you're not like fucking just this whiz like where you're not gonna get hit, or like Fury gets hit. But do I think Tom Schwartz has a outside chance? Maybe, if Fury's not taking him serious, or but do I think Tom Schwartz is gonna win? Absolutely not. I think that this fight could go like 10 rounds though, which is not gonna make much of a statement for Tyson Fury. Another thing, outside of fight predictions, because I mean this fight is not like the most enticing. The only reason that this fight is somewhat enticing to, I think, most boxing fans is where Fury will go next. Whether he's gonna fight Wilder. Fury's attachment to Wilder's name is what makes this fight exciting, or what makes Fury known or exciting in the American market. Yesterday's coverage on ESPN regarding this fight, like Max Kellerman's show, I think it's called Max on Boxing, and kind of like a prequel to this fight, like where they were like building it up. They actually did a good job of it, of building this fight up, fucking and I think PBC should do something similar, and not that PBC fucking boxing show. I kind of can't stand that show. I mean, I just like the fact that good fighters, like, or fighters that I like, show up on it. But production wise, like, it's shittily done. Like, I can't stand fucking the fact they have Porter and Mares on it. Like, they should have two other guys on that show, or a round robin of hosts, if you will, like fucking and not those two guys permanently. The girl that's on that show, I actually like her, and she's pretty. Those two clowns, like particularly Porter, like fucking, I just can't stand Porter. Like in general, he's kind of like shading like other PBC fighters while he's on the show. As you guys may know, like he just shaded Wilder recently. During his time on that show, like I mean, while he was hosting the show. So I mean, like Porter has a little bit of a yellow streak. So they should take a page out of these other broadcasts. I mean, the Zone has a good build-up shows to fights too. They're not like fantastic. I mean, they're made more like for for viewing on the internet. But I think PBC and these channels that are hosting these fights, particularly like if it's on Fox, if it's on FS1, they should do more like as far as building up these fights in a different fashion. Like I don't think maybe it's because I've already seen a lot of these, like, and the ESPN was like a new thing. But like Max Kellerman, I think is more of a talking head, like, and he'll keep the conversation going, even though he's a prick. They should get somebody else, maybe on that fucking PBC panel, and consider replacing one, if not both, of Abner Mares and fucking Porter as the host. Also, too, with and that's like, with this buildup of the Fury fight, you're seeing like mad advertisements for it. For instance, yesterday when Golden State lost to Toronto in the NBA Finals, they had a banner advertising the fight, and even though ESPN is a subsidiary of the Disney group, and the NBA Finals were shown on ABC, which is a part of the Disney group too. It just shows a little bit of a more of an extension, like when it comes to their marketing, like fucking up. And then if you happen to be watching ESPN the following evening, you're gonna be seeing like this show that I think was well produced, talking about this fight with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury does do a good job of selling himself. Sure, he could talk. He had to get the gab. Tom Schwartz can't even fucking talk English. Like, I mean, like, so, and I think it resonated with me. I think it had like not an effect like that, like for I'm changed, but I think it was done well. So, Wilder also has that same gift of gab and like ability to sell himself and like resonate with the American public at the very least. So these other people, maybe on the PBC side, should, put him more like on cameras, like, or put Wilder on camera. Wilder has a lot of his story that's not known yet, and I think like when you showcase that more, I think more and more people are gonna be drawn to him. I think Wilder has one of the best of major athletes or potential major athletes. Wilder has the best story. When you factor in the fact that he worked a regular 9 to 5 and got into boxing for his daughter's illness, the fact that he won a bronze medal, like pretty much picking up boxing so late in the game, like those are all like very redeeming and good qualities, like and they make for a really really good story. I mean, that's one of the best stories I've heard like in sports in a minute. And I don't think people know of it that much. And I don't think people would have so much rancor for Wilder if they knew his story. I think more of the American public, at the very least, would latch on to his cause. I'm going to make another video regarding Top Rank and Bob Arum mostly. I'll start working on that now. But otherwise, thank you for joining me, like fucking as always. Unfortunately, I can't fucking go live because I don't own a laptop, man. But pretty soon, right where this fucking this shitty space I have here, like fucking for my random shit, is gonna be occupied by a laptop in the fucking Fireplay Studios. Oh yeah, I actually have my fucking DJ shit uncovered. You guys can peep that. Boosh. It's my mixer. This is the only room in my house that's done. Every other room, like fucking here, it's a construction site. So I'm actually very proud of this room. I'm looking for a fucking Jack Johnson poster to put fucking right over here. I have a this one is John Sullivan, and it's actually I mean, some of you guys have probably seen this fucking advert, and I actually bought this in a flea market. It was $9. And like to get a regular one of these, they're like $60. So I picked it up. But I want to have the fucking like a dope Jack Johnson one. But a lot of the Jack Johnson shit that I see, it's fucking it's like kind of like new school shit. Like it's just like a picture. Like I actually want to get like a vintage joint. See, like this is like hold on, like a Spalding ad. Like I think it's from like the 1800s. Yeah, actually from 1899. See, season of 99. Fucking But I want to get like a bunch, like like some vintage Jack Johnson joints, like fucking like a Muhammad Ali one. I've seen some really good Muhammad Ali ones that I'm gonna post up fucking but I just gotta make a choice on which one's dopest. Like I'm gonna have a little bit of a maybe like that corner there, like to have just all like fucking vintage boxing shit. Fucking yeah, that's it though. Fucking stay tuned for my Bob Arum video that I have coming down the pipe next. All right, peace guys.